Hello and welcome to another anime lore and theory video. I'm Shergog, your host, and today we are going to take a closer look at what Platinum Dragonlord actually knows about players and how this could become really dangerous for Ainz and his entire guild. But before we're going to take a closer look at any of this, let me quickly thank my Patreons for supporting this channel and say my thanks to all users of the YouTube thanks function for making one-time donations. And with that said, let's get to the topic at hand. Players, at least from the perspective of Platinum Dragonlord and the New World, are essentially like powerful demons invading the world and subjugating an entire continent, and usually they are only interested in wealth, power and fame. And while we have a very detailed insight behind these scenes and know what players actually are, what Yggdrasil Online is, the New World does not have all the facts about players and what they truly are. And again, therefore today I will answer the question of what Platinum Dragonlord and the other people from the New World actually know about players and what they don't. First and foremost, players are, and this much is known among the dragons and the theocracy, only able to come to the New World every 100 years. And they know that many players did not come alone. The 6 great gods, the 8 great kings, the 2 players who traveled with Platinum were all such cases, and of course, Ainz came with an entire guild. This is something that Platinum is also aware of, and initially he speculated about whether the appearance of Sheltier was only the aftermath of whatever Platinum did 100 years ago, or not. Again, we don't know what he did 100 years ago. However, Platinum soon concluded that there's a new dark force at work, trying to corrupt and ruin the New World once again. So he knows that new players have arrived. But Platinum's judgments about players is surprisingly nuanced, while Cure Elim Los Malvar despises all players and even heavily dislikes their magic, the tier magic. Using it only in rare emergency cases, Platinum has found that the current generation of players, specifically Sheltier Bloodfallen, which is not a player but an NPC, but you know what I mean, the current invaders of the New World, with whom he had fought, is indeed evil. This implies that Platinum has indeed encountered good players before, which is likely referencing to the 2 players who fought alongside him and Rigert Berskaru against the so-called evil gods 200 years ago as part of the 13 heroes. And the evil gods were properly NPC monsters that indiscriminately attacked anything in the New World. Platinum also said that he is not sure if he is still the strongest being in the New World, which is another reference to the fight against Sheltier, as she is the only floor guardian who could actually defeat Platinum in a one-on-one battle. This means that while Platinum may be weaker than the Blood Red Valkyrie, he can still be as strong or even a bit stronger than Ainz. But Platinum knows more things, namely he knows about world items that the players possess. We saw this in the 14th volume, when Platinum mentioned that players sometimes have 2 world items. This is something that Platinum knows, and since he probably didn't learn it from Ainz, the question then arises, where did he learn it from? And there are quite a few options here. Platinum may have heard it from the 2 players that journeyed with him. They indeed could happen to have 2 of these items, which would be the easiest answer. The 8 great kings might also have 2 instead of 1 world item, and they both might be now in the possession of Platinum, or maybe even Slain might have another world item, which could turn out to be a nasty surprise for Ainz, and Platinum has acquired this knowledge. Furthermore, Platinum is aware of what players and NPCs generally are. I mean, sure, he had traveled with 2 players 200 years ago through most of the world, and thus he learned what players are and what NPCs are, and understands that there is a difference between these beings, and that NPCs serve players. He also probably knows that NPCs are perpetually loyal to the player, and the major uncertainty factor then is the player themselves. In the battle against Pandora's actor, or from his own perspective, Ainz ooal, Platinum also speculated that Albedo could be the player instead of Ainz. In other words, he doesn't have a wild magic spell or some other way to detect this difference, which is important information for Ainz. Platinum also knows something else, because he not only instructed Rigid Berskaru to search for rare items or information about these items, but he also explicitly mentioned that they must be as strong as to rival guild items. Platinum probably tried to identify and find more world items here for his fight against Ainz. However, the fact that Platinum casually mentioned that he knows about guild items could be really dangerous for the Great Tomb, because when a guild item is destroyed, it signals the desolation of the entire guild. In other words, Platinum knows that he can destroy an entire guild by crushing a single item. Interestingly, the guild item of the Great Tomb of Nezarec also rests in the Cherry Blossom Sanctuary on the 8th floor, guarded by Auriel Omega, the strongest and youngest of the Pleiades. And the 8th floor is also home to Rubedo, who is also a member of Albedo's kill team. And according to Albedo's and Rubedo's older sister Nigredo, Rubedo is also prophesied to bring about a tremendous calamity to the Great Tomb of Nezarec. In essence, should the guild item be somehow destroyed, or if Platinum manages to get in the vicinity of this item, things will get very interesting. And perhaps Platinum could indeed exploit the collector passion of Ainz ooal and use it to put his own armor into the Great Tomb. From there, basically he could disguise his armor as a rare treasure, and then he could search for the guild item from within. Though Pandora's actor would probably wonder why part of his treasury vault are now trying to escape. And of course both Ainz and Pandora's actor, as well as Albedo and everyone else who watched the battle, would probably recognize the armor of Platinum Dragonlord. So this is really unlikely to happen unless Platinum manages to disguise the armor or convince the people of Nezarec that the armor is basically now an empty shell and that the person within it is not there anymore to wield it, and that they now have a very, very valuable item of the enemy in their own possession. But since the potential for disaster is definitely there and Platinum has already killed other players before, this raises the question, if he knows about guild items, did he only kill players, or did he also destroy their guild items, therefore wiping out an entire guild or two? The latter would make him the killer of hundreds, if not thousands of powerful NPCs, and a genuine threat to the Great Tomb. And as mentioned, we don't know what happened 100 years ago, when players supposedly entered the New World again, and we also don't know what occurred 300 or 400 years ago. Except that 300 years ago Deep Darkness Dragonlord supposedly likely killed a player and took his own world item, and therefore Platinum could be much better destroying guilds than we currently can imagine. Not necessarily with brute force, but with cunning tricks, deception, and possibly even world items of his very own, which again Rigid is currently searching for. However, and this brings us to what Platinum doesn't know, he likely does not have a concept of a virtual world, and the fact that Yggdrasil Online was just a video game. Even Evil Eye, who was with him on the journey 200 years ago, didn't understand that players are just people who played a video game and got reincarnated as their in-game avatars. and that they are not a race with nearly unlimited power and potential. In other words, even if Platinum knows a lot, he may not be familiar with video games and may therefore not correctly understand many of the game mechanics that Ainz understands so much about. And finally, Platinum Dragonlord knows full well that strong and powerful items come from Yggdrasil, or else Rigrid would have been tasked with finding them and obtaining information. Therefore, Platinum probably wouldn't have a problem if he could use the weapon of the enemy, namely world and guild items, against them. Okay, and that's pretty much what Platinum Dragonlord knows about Yggdrasil Online and the players. And now it's your turn. Have I missed anything? Do you want to add something to the video or simply give your opinion? Then let me know down in the comment section. And while you type, I say thank you very much for watching and special thanks to Arder Daddy Arder, ASK, Bad Guy Yee, Bad Burrito 316, Beezer, Ben C, Brandon D, Chrissy, Crowley 0221, Sia, Crystal Prime, Dead Slime, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Demon Xenomorph 1987, Devin Downen, Ding Dong, Dragonlord Placido Saxophone, Duckwagon, Dunkler Krieger, Dystopia, Dystopia II, Enigmatic Unicorn, Feralchivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, J. Morris, Chromius, Kyle R, Lee K. Long, Legendarius, Lelouch Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Loverazor, Mervek, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Nope, Oh Hell No, Normal Toad, O'Kill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Pantum, Personage, Primus 11, Rhinomere, Cune Caracos P, Shergox is Daddy, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Super Tier Magic Batista Bomb, Supreme Cheese, Staris, Ted, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss Rak Ed Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito 27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, Xenokai, and Sonnengon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon on my next video.